Presenting for today's Florida School Counselor Association webinar is School Counselor Genevieve Stevenson from Rock Island Elementary School in Broward County, where they were just awarded as a No Place for Hate school. Congratulations, Genevieve. Genevieve has been a school counselor for 14 years and has worked in both Broward and Miami-Dade counties. Genevieve was the FISCA School Counselor of the Year for 2011-2012 and the Broward School Counselor of the Year for 2017-2018. And she is currently a member of the School Counseling Leadership Team in Broward County. Other awards include Team Leader of the Year and Teacher of the Year at Rock Island Elementary School. Genevieve believes educating the mind without educating the heart and mental health of a child is no education at all. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Genevieve, for being here and being so willing to talk to us about how to advocate for our school counseling program through Google Sites. Genevieve, you now have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Jeannie, and thank you, everyone. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I want to welcome you to the webinar for today. This is something that I'm really, really excited about, and so today's topic has become actually a fun passion of mine that I should have incorporated actually a long time ago as a way as a fun way to advertise and promote my school counseling program, both in Dade and in Broward County. But I am very proud and happy that I was able to do it for Rock Island Elementary, and it has been extreme fun. So I'm hoping that you will find it fun as well. I do remember in a recent webinar that we had for FISCA, where one of our counselors even suggested that to use this opportunity during our distance learning period to create a website that reaches parents, that reaches stakeholders, that reaches students, that we would probably not have an opportunity to create if we were in our offices right now and doing our day-to-day activities. So I took that opportunity to go ahead and create a wonderful and colorful website that I personally enjoy. And I wanted to share some of those techniques with you. So I'm hoping that you guys would have some great takeaways today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and move through the slides. Again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. I love questions and I love talking to people. So you'll learn that along the way. The first thing that we're going to do, and I believe Jeannie's going to help me with this, is I want to kind of get an idea and learn a little bit more about who you are and your experience level. So we're going to take a quick poll if we can. Just to see who has joined us today. So the poll that will be coming up are if you're at the elementary level, if you're at the middle school level, if you're at the high school level, or the district level. So if you can take a couple minutes and go ahead and fill that out, just so I can see who's on the line today. Wow. Okay. Very nice. So far, I'm seeing that we have a lot of elementary level experience here. That's awesome. And I'm very honored that we have middle school, high school, and even district leaders on here. That's an honor for me. Awesome. Okay, and while everyone is taking care of that part, there is a second poll question on the bottom that you see there. Is if you have currently a school counseling website. Some people have, some people don't. Some may currently have a website that they are using that is working beautifully, and they're extremely happy with it. There may be some other individuals on the line that may be thinking of starting a website or don't know where to start. And there may be some others that may have never considered creating a website, but just want the information so that may change their mind. So beautiful. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. Yay, elementary. So hopefully, especially you get an opportunity to see a little bit of my website today, which is geared more towards the elementary level, but I do have some sample ones that I fell in love with that are also middle and high that hopefully you'll enjoy as well. Okay, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so here are the objectives. So by the end of the webinar, you all should be able to do the following four things. One is that you should be able to understand the benefits of creating a school counseling website in order to advocate and promote and advertise your school counseling program. You should be able to learn and apply the do's and don'ts of creating a functional website for your parents, your students, and your stakeholders. Learn to operate the basic icons. During the webinar, I will be walking you through Google Sites just to teach you some of the basics to get you started, um, and some basic design elements. And also, you should be able to apply a link in order to share and publish your website for others to access. So in reviewing the objectives for today, I hope you guys get some great takeaways that you can use. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the benefits of a school counseling website. There may be a lot of you on here who are probably thinking, what is the purpose? What is the reason for me putting together a website? And these are a few reasons that I suggest. And one is reaching a broader audience. Making a website is a way for you to communicate not only to your students, but also to your stakeholders, to your teachers, to your administrators, to your district personnel, and to your parents, and even to other school counselors and schools within your network, in order for you to share some of the great things that you are doing. Sometimes when we are at our schools or at our current schools, we tend to kind of fade into the background. And sometimes we don't have time putting bulletin boards up. Sometimes we don't have time decorating our doors. Sometimes we struggle with taking care of our offices and advertising what we do. And a website is a great way to reach a broader audience that you may not have connected with on the school setting. Also, consistent communication with your school counselor. So obviously you're going to have the parents and the students and the teachers are going to have more availability to reach out to you if they need you for things like making an appointment to speak to a student, or having access to resources at the school as well as at home. Well, I know at Rock Island, we do have a lot of working parents, and we do have a lot of parents that work in the evening. So having a website increases my availability and convenience for parents and students. So that's another reason why I like it. It's also something about you controlling the information. It's a way for you to provide activities and resources while covering the 3 domains. And I do make sure that you'll see it on the website, on my website as well, that I do cover the 3 domains that we need to cover, which is academic, personal, social, and college and career development. Also, it's cost effective. So many times we're printing business cards and flyers that we try to pass out to parents and to our stakeholders for things like open house and parent conferences. Sometimes you see them on the ground. Sometimes you see them left on the counter. But with a website, they have access to it all of the time, and it's very easy for everyone to add and delete and take away things that are updated and that are needed and that are not needed. So I definitely think that it is cost effective and it does save time and money as well. But my last favorite benefit for creating a school counseling website is that it gives you an opportunity to clarify your roles and your responsibilities and the services that you provide at your school. There are so many people who make a mistake in terms of what our roles and responsibilities are at the school, and creating a website gives you an opportunity to clarify those things. So that's my favorite thing. Okay. So when you're looking for a good or for a good service or for a good product, the number one thing that people do, look at somebody's website. They're always looking up somebody's website to get more information about the services and the products that they offer. So many school counselors use websites and use web pages to find information, but they don't use it to provide information. And I think that we need to flip that around a little bit. We need to take the opportunity to show off the great things that we're doing at our schools, the great ideas that you have, the great ideas that you suggest, and resources and services that you do offer. The way I see a website is basically that everything that you are doing at your school, the bulletin boards, the guidance lessons, the school-wide initiatives that you have, put it on your website and share it with the world. Because as my mama would say, nobody's going to know unless you tell them. So I use my website as a way to show off and share with people. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is your counseling website in itself. We are going to be using Google Sites. There are other platforms that you can use. I find Google Sites to be a little easier, especially if you're just getting started with putting one together. I know that maybe some of you who did mention that you do have a website right now might be using Wix or Weebly, but I personally think that Google Sites is a little bit easier to use. But there is no right or wrong in terms of what you're creating your website. But these are some of the questions when you're beginning to think about putting it together that you may want to consider. And the first one is, what is your purpose for the website? Is your purpose just to gather information and to share information and data about your school and about some of the activities and programs and services you have? Are you just going to be sharing resources? Are you just updating information, putting a calendar out? Are you just going to be talking about your roles and responsibilities? Or are you going to have a combination of things? So I think the first thing that I know I did in creating my counseling website was to figure out, what is the point? What is the purpose? What is it exactly that I want to say to my audience so that I can reflect that? The next thing is, who will update your website? Is it going to be you? Do you have a group of you or a team of you that are going to be doing it together? And how often are you going to be updating your website? I think those two things definitely help you decide what you put on there and how much you put on there. So are you going to be updating it every week? Are you going to be updating it monthly? Are you going to be updating it bi-monthly? The time that you spend in updating your web pages could minimize and avoid posting dates in documents. So using calendars is a really good suggestion. Using annual calendars will definitely cut down on the amount of time that you spend on updating your site, but you're still updating your information and with current information. Also, in terms of what information that you want to post, if sometimes the content may seem a little overwhelming for somebody who's just getting started with it. However, just plan to start your web page or your website with basic information that does not need to be updated frequently. So in starting out for me, and I'm just being real with everybody, and starting out with me, I started out very small, and then over time, I just kind of added more information and it became a little bit easier. So I hope it's not overwhelming for everyone who is getting started, but just start with basic information to help you out. So hopefully with those questions, it'll kind of guide you to where you need to go with your site. So the basic do's and don'ts of the website. Now I put up here some of the things that I learned along the way in terms of the do's and don'ts. So the first do that I see is updating current information. When you are creating your website, you need to make sure that everything you put on there is current, because you never know when someone is going to be checking your site. And you don't want them to see something that happened back in August when it should be happening, something that should be happening in May. So number one thing that I suggest is make sure that you update your current information that's on there. I can tell you personally that I update my website every week. I usually pick Fridays to do that because we have less activity going on Fridays, and I can dedicate that time to doing it. Except for this Friday, because I do have a birthday on Friday. Simple fonts, words, titles. The more simple, the easier it is to read. 9 times out of 10, when you go on a website, majority of the time you're just scanning the information. If something catches your eye, you will be reading through it. But most of the time you will be, we have people who are scanning through it. So as long as you make in terms of readability. As long as you keep the font simple, the words simple, and the titles very simple and straight to the point, the better your website will be. Mixture of text. I do have a mixture of text on my site. However, I limit it to about maybe 2 or 3. Because I don't want the text to be overwhelming. So yes, please make sure that you mix your text sizes. Make sure that there's not too many of large blocks of text. I would limit it to about 2 or 3 that you use so that you can see consistency. Basic counseling information, not too much information under the don'ts. You know, I'm going to go through some of the suggestions in terms of what to put on your website. But again, the more simple, the better. Keep it basic, keep it simple. I have seen websites in the past where, and that's by choice, that, you know, some school counselors do put a little bit more personal information on there just to have that connection with the person that's reading their site, and that's okay. We just want to make sure that we don't go too overboard with that. Stick with the facts. I was on the phone with a couple of friends of mine who happen to be coworkers also, and one of the things that they even suggested that they noticed in some other sites that they were looking at was that a lot of times people don't stick to facts, that they offer their opinions. Your school counseling website needs to be just facts and information that you want to share out. To me, we should be avoiding opinions as much as possible because we don't want to show bias. We don't want to show that. So as long as you stick to the facts and to resources and basic information, you're good to go. Mixed media, mix it up a little bit. Use some videos, use some pictures, use some hyperlinks. I have seen websites where they'll put up a picture, maybe even a cover picture, and then they'll put a button on the bottom that connects you to the hyperlink. Make it simple, make it easy, because if the person wants to read more about that information, they can. So mix it up a little bit to keep them engaged and interested. And the number one thing is easy navigation. Easy navigation. So they need to be able to get through your website as quickly as they can. Because we don't have a whole lot of time. A lot of people I've noticed don't have a whole lot of time to sit and read through websites that much. They need something quick and they need something easy. So if it's easy to navigate, that's excellent too. So the bottom line for this slide is your web page should be easy to update and maintain. It should be simple and easy to navigate, appealing and uncluttered. And keep it simple, not too busy. Readers tend to scan over the website and info very quickly, so make sure it's something that catches their eye. Okay. All right. So in terms of tabs that you see, these are some suggestions of tabs that I've seen overall in some of the research I did before I put my website together, and I do recommend that as well, just to see other counselors' websites to kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. But these are some tab ideas just to get you started if you're a beginner and you're just starting with creating your website. So the first thing obviously is the home page. On the home page, easy information. Introduce yourself, maybe provide contact information. You can do a welcome. I know I've been on many school websites or websites for elementary school, middle school, high school, where even the principal and the assistant principal do a simple welcome letter. It's not long, but it's just their way of introducing themselves to other people. You can do the same thing. And maybe even a couple of pictures just to catch their eye and see what else is out there. Services that you offer. Talk about your classroom guidance lessons. Talk about the other lessons that you work on and that you do at your school. Small group sessions that you offer at your school. Workshops that you're going to have, especially for parents. School-wide initiatives, school-wide programs and activities. Show it off. Tell them what services that you provide. Okay. Contact information. I would keep it brief. I can tell you what I have. I definitely have my email address on there, and I do have my office telephone number on there. in case they are looking for me and they need it, as well as my office hours. So they know, so the parents and stakeholders know when they can find me the most. So that would be my suggestion for contact. Activities and resources. I said it earlier in the beginning of the webinar. Make sure it fits the 3 domains. That would be my best suggestion. Make sure you have all 3 domains on there. Some academic activities, personal, social, college and career development. If you can stick to those 3, you're good to go. Parent resources. Parents love a one-stop shop, and your website could be a one-stop shop for them. So when they go onto your site and look under parent resources, if you have flyers in terms of outside referrals that you can suggest for them in case they need it, resources where they can find other information, things that you know that your demographics will need, if they can go on your site and see it right in front of you, you are good to go as well. Also, I would suggest, if you have the opportunity, work with your school social worker as well to gather some information that maybe you can put on your website. And so that way you have updated information also. Okay. Let's see, and also school counseling calendar of events. So definitely put your calendar of events on there. I know that sometimes we have to come up with an annual school counseling plan, and sometimes we have to come up with a calendar of events from August to the end of the year in terms of school-wide initiatives that we're having, and other events and workshops that we're having. Put it on your website. It's very easy and very simple to do that, and I can show you that as well. But put it on your website. Yes, continue to advertise at your school. You definitely want to continue doing that, but also advertise it on your website. So just in case they miss it in one area, they can go onto your site and they can see it. Okay. Okay, so here's the fun part that I like, because I like to communicate, I like to collaborate, and I like to work with people. A lot of the teachers that I work with at Rock Island, I love collaborating with them because we have such intelligent people at Rock Island, and I love hearing their ideas. So I want to hear some of your ideas. In the chat box, if you can, take a look at the list that I've just given you and see if you can come up with other list of ideas of things that you feel that could go on your website. So I know Jeannie's going to be helping me with that as well, to see what's in the chat box, and I'll type some on here. So that way everybody knows that this is being recorded, so you guys also have access to the resources as well. So in your chat box, go ahead and share some other ideas that you have on there, and I can put it on there.
Genevieve, we have a local therapist list, crisis information, national suicide prevention number, link to Google Classroom lessons, mental health resources, bullying, I'm sorry, bullying information.
These are great.
Requesting conferences, local resources. I think they probably mean like where you can get assistance with electricity, food, clothing, that sort of thing.
Okay.
What a school counselor does.
I'll put some over here.
Contact your counselor form. Virtual resources. I'm sorry, virtual office. We already have community resources, I think. PBIS activities.
Sure.
SEL, emergency numbers, any sort of survey that you may want to send out.
Sure. On my site that I share, I did a couple of end of year surveys, and I'll show them that too.
Okay. Field trips to colleges, work sites, virtual field trips. Coping skills.
These are good.
Student referral for counseling. PTA or PTO.
Definitely, because you want to support your parents.
Lesson videos. Virtual office hours. Virtual calming room. We have 105 new messages.
I think we got the gist, right? Okay, so you guys already know some of these great ideas that you can go ahead and put on your website. And what I love about this is that they're all different. There is no such thing as a simple. There is no such thing as a single way to create your school counseling website. We want it to be different. We want it to be engaging because it shows off who we are. So I'm actually very happy and proud of some of the answers that are on here. It gives me an opportunity to add some things onto mine because I'm always still learning as well. But these ideas were great. I love them.
And Genevieve will have all of these in the chat so people can go back and look at these as a reference when they start creating their own webpage. And we saw, I mean, there's tons more: careers, transitioning, gender identity, scholarship,
Sure.
Lots and lots of things.
Lots of stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I also love about everybody's ideas that I see and that I'm listening to is that it can be applied to any level, whether it's elementary, middle, or high. Yes, there are some ideas that may not apply to those levels, but overall, they can be mixed into any of those levels. So I love that. Okay, so now you guys get an idea. Now you guys are going to get an idea of how Google Sites work. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some basic icons and basic things that you can do onto your site. So I'm going to go ahead and do a dummy site for you so I can share some of these elements for you so that you guys can go ahead and get started. And then I can go ahead and share my website so that you guys get some ideas there too. Okay. So here we go. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do when you're creating your Google Sites is to go to Google Sites. You can type it into Google or to the browser, or you can type in sites.google.com to get started. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I would recommend, let me just share with you, hopefully everybody can see my screen, is the icons and the items on the right-hand side. They are divided into 3 different tabs. You do have insert, you have pages, and you have themes. One of the first things that I did when I was building my web page is I started with the pages tab. The pages tab is basically an outline for you. It's just some of the things that you want to add onto your site, okay? So if you wanted to add things like, you know, curriculum, if you wanted to add things about your classroom guidance lessons, if you wanted to add counseling services on there, your calendar of events, this is actually where I would start. So if you don't want to do it on paper, that's okay. But I would definitely start with the pages tab so that you can kind of outline and kind of guide where you want your web page to go. So in order to do that, I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you click on the pages tab here and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see a plus sign. I'll show it again. You see that plus sign on the bottom? All you do is you click on that. Now, the best thing that I like about Google Sites is that when you scroll your mouse over to an icon or to a button, it does tell you what it is, so you won't get lost. That's one of my favorite pieces as well. So if you scroll down and you see the plus sign there, you're going to see what it says, new page. You click on that and you type in whatever you want to type. Let's say somebody mentioned PBIS, so you can just type in PBIS, and then you click on the word done, and there it is right there. You just created one of your tabs on your website. Now, what I would do, and I'm guilty of it, but what I would do is, remember I told everyone to basically keep it simple. So what I would do is just do main pages and main tabs, and there is a way for you to do a sub tab. So once someone clicks onto your website, they're going to see an arrow button on the top, so that they know that there's more information on the top there. So in order to do a sub page, if there's some more information that you want to put in there, all you have to do is go to the page that you just created. You're going to see 3 ellipses right here. All you do is you click on the ellipses and you scroll down to where it says add subpage. Okay, you'll click on that. Go ahead and give it a title. Let's say PBIS, you want to talk about maybe the plan, or you want to do maybe a reward sub tab, so they can see, so people can see pictures of maybe rewards and activities that you have done. So maybe you can type in rewards and you click done. And here's the best part. On the side, you have your main tab, and then it tells you all the sub tabs that you do have, and you can add as many sub tabs as you want. Here's another good part. When you come up here onto your website, you're going to see PBIS, and you're going to see that little arrow right there. If you notice, you click on that and you see your rewards that you just created. Okay, so the first thing I would do again is just to make sure that you do your pages first, so that you can organize yourself and you know what you want to put. Okay. Okay. Themes. Now, Google Sites does have only certain themes that you can use, but you can get creative with it. So they have these themes that they let you use. You can click on any one of these themes. However, they only have specific colors for the themes also. So if you click on, let's say if you click on this one, the simple one that I had, these are the colors that are associated with that theme. Your theme is basically your background for your web page, okay? And then they also have some font styles that you can use for each one. So they have light, they have classy, and then they have heavy also, okay? But let's say that you decided to click on one of your background themes, but you don't like the color. You can actually change your picture on your background, and I'm gonna show you how to do that now. So I'm going to go to the home page. Okay, so originally it looked like this, but I decided to change the background of it to make it more, make it better for me. Okay. Okay. So all I did was, oh, okay, you see where it says change image? You can change it, click on that. And you're going to have 2 options, either to upload, or you're going to have the option to select the image. Okay, what I would do is select the image. They have galleries of pictures here that you can pick from. You can pick whichever background you want, or you can even do a search by URL. So if there's a website that you like the background, you can take it from there, or you can even just do a search. So let's say I want to do a counseling one, and I type in counseling. And I click on that magnifying glass, and there's so many different options right here. I love this one, so I'm gonna check this one and press select, and I just changed my background. Okay, so what I love about Google Sites is that you can just play around with it. Now here's the thing, when you do change your background, it does change it for the rest of them. It doesn't change for the rest of them. So if you want to do different ones for each tab, you can do that, and that way you can keep it engaging. Okay. I know you guys probably have a lot of questions, but I want to make sure you guys get the basic icons first so you can get you started. All right, the last thing I did not go, another thing I did not go over yet was insert. Okay, so the insert tab basically is your layout for Google Sites. So on the top here, you have text box, you have images, you have embed, and you have Google Drive. The text box is basically your font that you want to use. So if you want to type something into your web page, you can. So I'm just going to play around with it so you can see. So if I click on text box, it'll give me some options as to whether or not I want title size or heading or subheading size or even something small or even a normal text. So if I want maybe a title size, maybe I want to start something new on here, it does it for you. And let's say I just put positive behavior support. Okay, remember, we're just playing around with it. So that's exactly how you type in your text. Okay, you can also move it too. You see you'll see these little ellipses here. You can actually move your words around. So if you want it centered, even if with pictures, if you want it centered, if you want to move to the right or move to the left, you can do that. Okay. Also with images, if I wanted to add an image, I have two ways of adding an image. I can upload it from my computer. So if I have any pictures that I have saved onto my computer that I want to share and upload, I can do that. Or I can select from the same thing. I can type in the image address from a site that I like. I can do a Google search and type in a photo, or I can do a photo from here. Also from Google Drive. So you have an option here and you have an option there. Okay. And I can go ahead and insert a picture. Embed. Embed means I can put in a link or a link by URL, or sometimes the links that you have what's called an embed code, and you can type in the embed code and you can go ahead and put it into your site. So I can practice here. Let's do. Okay, let me do one that I was looking at today. So I can highlight. I can go to YouTube, highlight what I like, copy. I can go back, paste it in there. It'll read it for me and ask me if this is the one that I want. I'll say yes. I insert, and my video is uploaded and in there. That's what I love about Google Sites, is that it's that easy. Okay. If you go down to the different layouts, Google has these 6 layouts that they have given you, and these platforms that they have given you that you can use to build your site. I mix it up a little bit to make it interesting, but here's the cool part, is that you can click one and it uploads it for you, and it's actually a guide. Maybe you want to put a picture in here, you want to put your text in here. Here's the cool part. If you want to do a text or a picture, instead of coming up here and keep scrolling up and down to use these icons, you can right click on your mouse. You're supposed to be able to. You can right click on your mouse. Okay, there you go. So you can right click on your mouse and these will come up so you can go ahead and get started right away. Okay. So again, change the layout. I just added another layout. The best part about it is that if you want to take away something from your layout, you can. You can just click on it and there's the trash button. You can get rid of that and just keep something else that you have. That easy, that simple. Okay. Also down here are the other buttons to help you with your layout. I can talk about a few. The table of contents, I'll usually use a table of contents on the home page. So just in case, instead of having it on the top, you can have it on the side. This is my other favorite, which is an image carousel. An image carousel is basically a slideshow that you're putting together. So let's say you had an event at your school and you wanted to put a slideshow together of the event that you just had. All you have to do is just upload the pictures that you want, either from mostly from your computer, and it'll create an ongoing slideshow for you. So I love that. You can even, again, you can upload YouTube videos on here. If you find one that you like, you can go ahead and upload that. We talked about an annual calendar that you can put up with all the different events that you have for the year. You can click on the calendar. Now here's the thing, with calendar, it will not link to your Outlook, or it will not link to some of the other programs that we had unless you have it on Google. Google Sites usually does work with Google programs like Google Slides, Google Calendar, Google Forms. So what I would recommend that you do if you are going to use Google Sites is to create a Gmail account, or even just use Google and put some of the stuff on Google Slides or Forms, so that you can save it and use it onto your site. Okay. Another thing that I have found with Google Sites is that it's better to use pictures than it would a PDF file. But you can easily change your PDF file to a JPEG, or a GIF, so that way you can upload things onto your site. Okay. I'll show you mine in just a second where I have used some of these. Google Docs, same thing. If you have a document on Google Docs that you have typed, or if you download some of the documents that you have found that you want to share on your website and you put it on Google Docs, you can actually upload it from here as long as you save it on there. Same thing with Sheets, which is the Excel, which is Google Sheets, which is Excel, and Forms and Charts. Okay. Something else on the side. If you don't like what you put on here, if you don't like the layout that you put on here, and I know it's a lot, like I said, I'm just teaching you the basics, so at least you can see it, so that when you are creating your Google website, you kind of have an idea. So I know it's a lot, I'm just doing the basics. But what you would do is, let's say it's something that you don't like, that you want to get rid of, and you want to try to kind of start again. All you have to do is just go to the left-hand side where you see the trash can, delete your selection, it's gone. Okay. And up here at the top, okay, so some of these icons at the top here. So we have untitled site. What I would do is go ahead and label your site for you and put a title to it. So mine was just playing around with it. It was Antoine's Canceling Couch. So I'm going to put there. Okay. That way you have a title to your site. And the best thing about, another good thing about Google Sites or is Google Sites is that everything that you put on here is saved. So you don't have to go to the corner, click on file and save. Go to the corner, click on file and save. Everything that you put here is automatically saved. Okay. When you scroll over here to the right, you're going to see these two. This is obviously the back button. So if you've made a mistake and you click on the back button, it will erase the stuff that you have put on there so that you can put up something new. Redo, the last action, is this one here. Here's another cool icon, preview. If you want to see what your website is going to look like before you publish it, all you have to do is click on this button and it shows you what your website will look like. Okay, what people will see. When you're done, you just click on the X and you're right back to the original spot. Okay, this icon right here, it looks kind of like a little paper clip. The only way it will light up bold is if you publish what you've already created and what you've already put together. So this will not light up in bold unless you are completely done. So when you're ready to publish your site and you're ready to share the link with everyone, and you click on publish, then this will light up. So that way, every time you update your site, once you have previewed it and you press publish to kind of change your rough draft to a final draft, then it will automatically update for you. You can use that link right here. Okay, this piece right here, share with other people. If let's say you're on a counseling team and you want to share your web page that you're creating together with other people on your team, you can actually share it with other people so that they can go ahead and put information on there as well. And let's see, for settings. Settings is when you start looking for when you're beginning to think about customizing your URLs, I wouldn't do that as yet, especially if you are a beginner. It's not necessary that you do that, because once you have your link, you can actually put it on your flyer, you can put it on your business card, and your parents and your students and your teachers and your stakeholders actually have access to it. Okay, so that's the basics of Google Sites. And like I said, I know it's a lot, and I wish I had 5 hours to teach everybody how to do it so that they can practice. But I at least wanted you all to see the icons and to see what they are. So if you're thinking about using Google Sites, you know how to use it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share mine. All right. So this is my website. So you can see that I have my home page here. Just a brief introduction. During this period of distance learning, it is extremely important to continue to maintain the good physical and mental health of both you and your family. My role as a school counselor will be to provide you with the support and assist with managing emotions and feelings in times of need. And I put here on the bottom that I want them to check my website, because I constantly have updated information and activities on here. So if you scroll down on my home page, there's my contact information. This piece right here is from, I actually got this from a counselor friend of mine, or one of my counselor friends from Brown Girls Who Counsel, holla. She uses something called Poster My Wall. And I thought it was a great site. It's very similar to Canva, if many of you are familiar with Canva. It is very similar to Canva, but I like Poster My Wall because it's more animated. And they have so many different flyers and business cards and infographics on there that you can pick from and play around with. And I'll show you that in a little bit later. But I created like a little mini business card that I put on here on my website. And I put my office hours, my contact information, my email address so that you can email me. And also, if you notice, I put my website on there. Okay. When I'm hosting my small group chats online, which those are fun, by the way. I also do happy birthdays. So each and every week, I do birthdays. So I announce them on my website, and I also share with the parents to please go onto my site. So that way they can see their announcement. I even have something here where it actually plays happy birthday for them. But you can see the updated birthdays right there. Something else that I wanted to point out to all of you in terms of ethical considerations, when you're putting someone's name on your website, please make sure you do not put the whole name unless you've gotten permission to do that. What I would recommend is you use the first name and the last initial, or you can use the first initial of their first name and then their last name. Okay. When we started our distance learning, usually we do Student of the Month at Rock Island. At my old school in Miami, I did Star Student of the Week to give the students more of an opportunity to earn recognition. So we're doing Student of the Week right now. And this is a really cool one. Like I said, I wish I had time to teach you all how to do this because there's a lot of great stuff out there. But I use Google Slides for this. So I created a template for Star Student of the Week. And the great part about it is that I can publish it on my web page, and it also loops. So I can I can create the setting to where it loops automatically so that people can see their name pop up. Okay. And then down here, this is also extremely important. I recommend you putting this on your homepage. Who are school counselors and what we do? Somebody mentioned that on one of the ideas. I have it on there as well. What is exactly my role and responsibilities? What is it that I do? Because a lot of people do not know. So I actually picked this up from Aska, and I just copy paste into a JPEG and put it on my site. Okay. And then something else here on my drop-down menu, somebody mentioned data. I do it too. So at the end of every year, I do many different needs assessments and data analysis for my program, so I know how to plan for next year. And these are some of the results that I had. So all I did was use poster on my wall, and I found infographics. Infographics are great when you are trying to put data together, and they're also great for flyers too. So these are some of the results that I had from the school counseling standards assessment that I had my babies complete. And this one is from the school counseling activity rating scale, which is called SCARS. So data is great, especially when someone's looking up to see how well you do. Okay. The reason why you see, a lot of you are probably wondering, okay, why do I see plus or minus percentage signs next to it? What I like to do is track trend data. So the plus and minus signs that you see on the side are from last year to this year, how much gain or how much decrease. Okay. Lesson activities, I have that as well. And I have it in the 3 domains. This one's personal social. So if you notice, I have an SEL read aloud that I pick from YouTube. I find all kinds of good stories that apply to the social emotional learning for our students that they can read, and we want to always get them reading. These are some non-screen activities that I found. Again, I find these things. Sometimes they come into your emails. Sometimes you stumble across them. If you stumble across it and you like it, put it on your page. It can always be of some good use. Okay. We also use Sanford Harmony. I know Broward County does use, some schools do use Sanford Harmony program, and I know many of you are familiar with Sanford Harmony program, which is fantastic. They have their quick cards online. So I find the quick cards that I like to do some home activities for home and also for school. So I have one for conversation, collaboration, and community builders. And I even give suggestions on the bottom on how to incorporate them at home. Coronavirus workbook. I got this from my school social worker. She actually put this up, and I took it from her and I put it on here. Again, other videos, if you notice, you see multimedia things in here just to keep the kids and the parents and stakeholders engaged. Icebreaker activities. This is something that's really cool. So last year, we were having some issues at Rock Island when it came to conflicts on the playground. So in working with, again, some of the greatest teachers that I've ever met in my life, especially in the upper grades, we decided to incorporate what's called Playworks. It's a recess program that teaches kids how to solve conflicts, especially when you're playing together. So ever since we incorporated Playworks, not only do they love the games because they're organized games, but we also notice a decrease in conflicts on the playground as well. So what I do is, instead of doing it at school, because I can't, they also have Playworks at home. So I just take some of their videos that they have on YouTube and I put it up on here so the kids don't lose anything. Suggested books on different topics. I have one for kindness, one for empathy, one for social skills, so that the parents can see some stories that they can go to the book order online, or they can go to the library and get some of these books, and some other activities here. There's also academic. And I see brains cooking. I can see brains cooking already. And here's a fun one. So one of the things that I did this year, and I'm going to plan on doing it next year, is called academic data chats. And I do the data chats with the kids that are in RTI for academics. So I have small groups with those students. And one of the strategies that I teach them is what's called focus. So we use Face It, Organize, Conquer, Understand, and Scan. So what I did was I recorded myself on YouTube, which it is possible that you can do that. And I went ahead and I posted it on the website. So when the kids go on, if they need to remember the focus strategy before they start an assignment, it's right there for them where I've guided them to do it. Okay. SMART goals. I'll go through this fast. Brain teasers are great under the academic domain. I know I spoke with Jeannie at one point about me doing a webinar on academic development activities. So this is something that I definitely would talk about. Growth mindset, for sure, would go under academics. And even middle school tips for my 5th graders in case they happen to go on here. And for kindergarten. Kindergarten readiness checklist. This one is cool. It's called Big Life Podcast. I know I went on a webinar not that long, or a FISCA meeting not that long ago, where counselors were looking for growth mindset and resilient mindset activities. And this is a great website that you can infuse into your website, into yours. It's called Big Life Journal. And the great part about this is that it's a podcast. So it forces the kids to listen, to listen to the story. And it's about a couple of characters who are going through a problem, and it teaches them how to persevere and to find a solution to the problem. So if you click on it, you'll hear it a little bit. Okay, so they can click on that, and they can listen to it. And then the best part about it is that there's discussion questions on the bottom from the episode that I did. Okay. There's a calming corner on here. Somebody was talking about calming corner and mindfulness. I have that on here as well. So I have a mindfulness video of the week. Here's some activities that they can do at home. I have a writing journal activity, a cool down activity, and a project. Some calendars up here. These are some great books on mindfulness that they can look at, some videos that they can use. Okay, this one, I also have a check-in. So I have the kids sometimes go on my website and check in with me to see how they're doing. I use Google Forms for that. And there's the check-in form there. Our platform we use for lessons is Canvas. That's why I asked them that. Okay, there's also setting up an appointment. If you want to set up an appointment with me and meet me on Microsoft Teams so that we can talk for a few minutes, set up an appointment right here. Parents can use this as well if they want me to speak to their student about a specific issue or a specific concern that they have. They can go on my website and do that. This one was fun. I love this one, and I would love to continue this next year. It's called youuplift.com. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we did at Rock Island, especially for the fact that we're going through this pandemic, and we do have quite a few children who may be having a hard time with it, is to keep encouraging one another to say, hey, we got this. We're with you. We love you. We still believe in you. So youuplift.com is great. You can sign up for it. And here's the best part. So here's how it works. When you're at school, you can put it onto your screen if you have a screen in the front office, and it connects to you. But here's how it works. So students and teachers and parents and stakeholders can submit a positive message that they want to send to someone or send to the school. It comes to me. This is where it says message approval. So it comes to me. It's for me to approve it. And once I approve it, it goes onto the screen. But here's the cool part. Not only can you use it on your screen at school, but I have the platform down here. Okay, so anybody can go on the website and see all the positive messages that we have sent to each other. I know we use this for many different things. We use this for honor roll, our virtual honor roll recently. We used it for our Principal Appreciation Day. We used it for Assistant Principal Appreciation Day. And I know I'm putting on, because we're a Class Dojo school, I'm going to put it on Class Dojo for anybody who wants to advertise and send a positive message to our fifth graders that are leaving. And I put the submission form here as a button. Okay. And then the last thing on here for mine is, if I can get to it, parent resources. Okay, so you can again, parents like a one-stop shop. They don't like to search too much. So if you have some great information, put it on your site so they can read it. I told you we're a Class Dojo school, so I remind the parents all the time to please check your Class Dojo messages, because we put messages on there all the time for updates. And I've added links here. I even said make sure you add links, some flyers for local services that we do offer for outside referrals, information on COVID, tips on social media safety since we've gone to remote learning. Somebody was talking about suicide prevention. There it is right there. 3 ways to mental health from the mental health first aid. Watchdogs. We are a watchdog school. I'm very proud of that, where the dog stands for Dads of Great Students. So we like to involve our positive male role models and our dads. We actually had a couple of events where I would invite the dads to come and hang out at school, see the kids in their classroom, help in the cafeteria. So we are a watchdog school. And instead of putting all this information, because I wanted to be a one-stop shop and very quick, I just went ahead and clicked and created a link. So anybody who goes on the website can click on that link and they can get more information about it. Okay. Mayan. This is from one of our literacy coaches that we have at our school. She was talking about Mayan, which is a great way to get kids reading, especially on their reading levels. So what we decided to do was to use my website to their advantage. And if in case we couldn't reach parents one way, they can go on my webpage and see it here. So they can click on Mayan. And then we also put the school name, the username, and the password so that they know how to log in. So again, they can go on quickly, and we put on the website right there so they don't have to look. It's right there. Okay. Instructions on how to check their students' grades, Sanford Harmony activities online, some more referrals and resources. I love this one. Save for watch. If you see something, send something. I love that one. And some more here. So that right there is just is my web page that I spent some time on. So I hope you got some ideas from there. And then I'm going to go back really quickly and finish up for you. Okay, so resources. Some of you may be asking for, where can I get some resources to put onto my website? These are just some of the resources of many that I use, but they are great. The first thing I would suggest is check your emails. If somebody has sent you an email with some great information that you want to post on your website, put it up there. So the first place I would look is some of the emails that we tend to throw away sometimes because we either don't have time or don't know where to use it. Look at it again and see if it's something that you can put on your site that would be of some good use. Pinterest is great. Pinterest has tons of stuff on there that you can add to your website, especially if it's something that's your favorite or something that you want to focus on. Sanford Harmony, YouTube for videos and media. Facebook group pages. I know there's a group on there that a lot of us are probably members of, which is the Elementary School Counselors Exchange. They have tons of files and uploads on there for you to look at and see if there's anything that you want to put on your site. So start with that as well. Postermywall.com, again, is a great resource if you want to put flyers up on something that's coming up. Infographics that you can use for data. Nearpod is great. They actually have trainings for support staff and for teachers on the different lessons, how to upload them and how to use them. ShareMyLessons.com has tons of social and emotional learning lessons, flyers, and pages that you can download and use. And I would also use our American School Counselors Association. We have something called Ask a Scene, which is a community blog. People have put tons of stuff up on there that you can check the files and see what you can take from there. So just to help you get started. Okay. These are some websites that I've liked that I found either on Facebook or just happened to just run into it. But these are some great websites that you can check here. These are elementary, middle, and high. So the one on the bottom is elementary. The one in the middle is middle school, and the one on the top is high school. So I can click on the high school one real quick, and you can see it there. And if you notice, she has her tabs on the side, and she used Google Sites. So she has her tabs on the side, and she's divided it up by grade level. So you can check that one out if you'd like. Okay, the one for middle school is here. So take some time and look at it just to get some ideas and generate some thought as to what you want to put on your site. But remember, whatever you're doing at your school, show it off because everybody's doing great things. So show it off. So this is a middle school one. And this one, mine would be considered elementary, but I love this one. This one was fantastic. And this is elementary. She has hers on the side as well. Okay, she's got videos and links, everything here. Okay, so those are some ones that you can look at just to, again, just to help you get started. I'm almost done there. In terms of advertising your website, some people may be on the site may be asking, how can I advertise my website, and how can I get my information out there? Here are some great ideas. Business cards to parents and students that you can use at your parent-teacher conferences. You can use them at open house. I actually saw one idea that I like, which is QR codes. You can create a paper flyer with QR codes on it, and you can put them in the classrooms or around your school, and the kids can click on the QR code with their phone, and it leads right to your website so they can take a look. You can link your page to your school website page. You can share your page on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so people know about you. Flyers and postcards in the front office is a great idea. Let parents know that they can find you. If they can't find you in person, they can find you there. If you have a TV screen in their front office, put your website up there if you can. Advertise yourself. Let people know who you are and that you are around. Monthly parent newsletter. I know we have a newsletter that we send out monthly. Put your website link into your monthly newsletter for sure. This is a creative way of doing it. A lot of times teachers are looking for different ways to add social emotional learning into their classrooms. So what you can do is you can even suggest with the teacher to set up a couple of computer stations where your website is on there. So they can rotate to different centers like they normally do, but one of the centers would be your webpage. So they can incorporate SEL in there. And you can share your website with other school counselors in your network just to get yourself out there. Okay. And these are just some last minute tips. Make sure all your links are active and working. Keep fresh and updated information. Keep it easy, keep it simple, and make sure others can find you. So that's pretty much it. So if anybody has any questions, I know Jeannie's been monitoring the chat for me, but if anybody has any questions or need me to clarify anything or need some help with something, so please make sure that you send me an email. That's my email address right there. And also just a reminder that this presentation is available on the FISCA YouTube channel. So there's the web page right there. And if you notice, I use Bitmojis also. I use Bitmojis on my webpage as well. Bitmojis are great. And that's about it.
All right, thank you, Genevieve. This has been just a fabulous webinar, and we have so many positive comments already, people who have found this to be some of the best PD they've received during the quarantine, so thank you for that.
No problem.
We had a question about parents having access to your Google site. If they don't have a Google account, can they still access it?
Yes. When you click on the link, I can go back if you guys have time. So when you go to your link, okay, so this was the dummy. So on my link, all I would have to do is, okay, this is mine, is to highlight my website. And you can go ahead and put it into your browser on Google Chrome, on Internet Explorer, whichever one you use, and it'll automatically come up. So you don't need to have a Google account to see it.
So someone was having difficulty saying parents could not get in if they didn't have a Google account.
Oh, okay, because I have actually, as a matter of fact, maybe there might be a glitch somewhere, but I know, like I said, we are a Class Dojo school. So I'll give you an example. Just recently, I put my website on Class Dojo for the parents to go in and look to see who the star student of the week was. And every person was able to click on the link. So in my experience, you don't need to have a Google site to see it. Maybe there might be a glitch somewhere, but I know that my parents are able to see it.
Okay, great. And then I just want everyone to know that I just pasted in the chat box a bit.ly link that will take you to a survey. If you would please take a moment to copy that and paste it in your browser and give Genevieve feedback on today's presentation. So thank you very much if you would please do that. Other questions, people were asking about your web address, but I believe somebody put it in the chat, but you can see at the top of the page here is your web address, correct?
Yes, and I can put it in the chat as well if they'd like, just in case they missed that. So I can go ahead and do that now.
So someone was asking if you, how you use this like over the summer, or is it just for the school year?
No, I do use it over the summer. We do still have parents that, a lot of our parents are still connected to Class Dojo because we have a lot of siblings at our school. If there's some new information that I want to put up, or if the parents are looking for activities for them to do over the summer with their children, I still upload that.
So it's a great place to post summer information
Sure.
for parents and activities for students.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Somebody said maybe the reason parents couldn't see the individual site was because they hadn't yet published it.
Published it, yeah.
Awesome. All right. And then on UUplift, do you edit student misspellings on UUplift?
Yes.
Or do you let it go?
No, I screen it. I change the spelling. Sometimes I may not change the capital and the small and the lowercase because maybe they wanted it that way, but majority of the time I do edit it before I put it out there. Yes.
Okay. And then also about, do you, on UUplift, do you get a notification or do you have to keep checking the website?
No, you do get, good question. You do get a notification in your email. So whatever email you set it up with, you get a notification in your email and it will say UUplift.com, a message has come to you. And then you can pull up the messages and you can go ahead and approve each one of them.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. Is UUplift a free or a paid site?
As of right now, due to COVID-19, it is a free site. However, I'm not sure of how long they're going to keep it that way. It is normally a paid site and it's $30 a month. Okay.
And then someone had asked about where you got the SCARS survey from.
All you have to do is when you go, I'll do it for them so they can see it. So if you go on google.com and you type in school counseling, sorry about that. Whoops. Okay, if you type in school counseling activity rating scale, it comes up for you. We'll click on that. And boom. Oh, okay. I guess it won't let you do that. Okay. So what we can do is, if I'm not able to find it, because it was on here at one point, but if I'm not able to find it, if they send me their email address, I can send them a copy of mine.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And looking for more questions. Please remember that this webinar will be available on the Florida School Counselor Association website. It'll take us a few days to get it rendered and uploaded. There will also be a link in the description to Genevieve's slides that she presented today, so you'll have access to all that information. Just give us a few days to get it up there. You do not have to be a member of the Florida School Counselor Association to access our website. At this time, all the information on there is free. So let's see. How much time a week do you dedicate to updating? Someone wants to know.
Good question. I usually update it once a week. I pick one day. Usually my down days are Fridays. So I pick one day a week and I upload. I don't upload every single thing or update every single thing, because some of the things on the website can continue being used. But I usually pick one day a week to do that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And someone wants to know, how do you go about having multiple people edit the website, or does it only go to one email address?
No, when you go to, let me see if I can go back for you. Okay, so when you click on this icon right here where it says share others, it looks like a person with a plus sign on it. You can put as many email addresses in there as you want. As long as you give them access to editing it, then they can do that. So
So
you can go ahead and add the people and add your people here. And then once you're done, you click on done and they're able to edit it for you.
So your entire counseling team could be added.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you guys, and the best part, like I said, whatever they put on there is automatically saved.
All right. It looks like that's the end of our questions, unless anyone has anything else I'd like to ask before we end today. Please remember that there is a bit.ly link where we would like for you to please take a moment to just evaluate or give us feedback, I guess is a better word to use, for about today's webinar. We appreciate you all so much for being here, and Genevieve, so much for you to present to us.
Thank you.
I'm looking to see if we have any more questions. Do the responses in your forms come to your Broward County Public School email address or to a Gmail?
They actually come to a Gmail.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is the site for the data table inserts?
The data table inserts. Okay. So that you can go to postermywall.com. I'll show it to you here. Whoops. Okay, you can go to postermywall.com and you can type in, let's say you want to do an infograph, which is where I put my data. You click enter, and it gives you all these different templates that you can use. So you can pick from there and you can edit them.
Someone asked, how do we combine all 3 grade levels in middle school?
If you go on to, when you look at the, I know that this webinar is going to be recorded to YouTube. If you look on the 3 links that I gave you to get some inspiration for elementary, middle, and high, look at the high school one because they've actually divided all 4 grade levels for you. So you can kind of get an idea of how you want to do that, but they've divided all 4 grade levels for you. So what I would do is, if you wanted to on your website, split your information. Do something for 6th grade, something for 7th grade, and something for 8th grade. But you can keep it on one site.
Okay. We I have put the bit.ly link in the chat box. So if you've not had a chance to copy and paste that to your browser to provide feedback, it is there now. You can go right to that and copy and paste it. Also, please remember that this will be on the Florida School Counselor Association website. We can also post the chat, and we can also post Genevieve's Google Slides, and those will be in the description of the webinar. So all the information from today will be there. All right, I don't see any more questions, Genevieve.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for attending today. We appreciate your patience as we got a little bit of a late start. We had so many people in our waiting room. We thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Genevieve, for sharing your enthusiasm and your expertise with Google Sites. I think we have a lot of people who are going to be designing and developing their own site from this webinar. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I can't wait to see them.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.